I'm shooting coach Mike Dunn, and welcome to How to Shoot a Basketball. Welcome to How to Shoot a Basketball. Today, we're going to talk all about why it's important that the ball stays in front, right? We talked a little bit about our push-pull, okay? The push motion being that push to that two. But what happens if we push too far? Or what happens if we're a pull shooter and we pull it too far backwards? Now, ball staying in front is important because as shooters, we create levers everywhere. We create levers with our upper body, with our arm, with our wrist, with our lower half. We want to be able to take advantage of those levers, right? Leverage being the ability to move something with great power but relatively little effort. If we are going to be the power machines that we are, it's important that we take advantage of those levers where they can be taken advantage of them most, okay? So what happens on a push to the two by keeping the ball in front? This is where I'm most powerful. Now, me being about 6'6", my levers are going to be a bit different. And for me, I get comparatively high in my two position as compared to a lot of different players, right? So there's a little bit of, a fluidness to that two position here, right? Some may be a little bit lower, some may be just a little bit higher. The ultimate thing here is that we create this really nice lever where this hand, we're not exactly at 90 degrees, maybe closer to a 45-ish angle or so, but this I'm very powerful out of. Just like if I were to throw a pass from here, I can really whip that pass. From this position, when my body attaches underneath the basketball, I'm going to be able to create a great deal of power from that position, okay? Now, what happens is you'll see some shooters that maybe they're told, hey, you need to start moving your set point higher so your shot doesn't get blocked. Big time myth. For the most part, our shots don't get blocked that much anyway, and if you're taking a bunch of shots that have the opportunity to get blocked, you're probably not taking great shots, right? So when we move the ball up here, for those players that kind of have this habit of bringing the ball over their head, when this happens, our angle here gets compromised big time, right? And because that angle gets compromised, if I'm going to attach my body underneath the basketball, which we'll talk about in another episode in regard to why the ball needs to move first, but if my body now attaches under the ball from this position and I just drive up vertically, I don't have a lot of power here to push up through the basketball. So what ends up happening a lot of times is we get here and it becomes more of this slingshot type motion where the ball just moves at 100 miles an hour to the basket in a very line drive-ish way, okay? So what we want to do, right, and I used to tell some players to imagine a plane of glass behind their head, and what I say is don't break the glass, right? We never want to break the glass because if we break the glass, that tells us that we moved that ball backwards too far and that we've now stopped the momentum, we've compromised our lever, and us making shots is going to be more and more difficult. Remember, we're trying to take away. We're not trying to add to the shot. By you pulling the ball backwards or even pushing the ball backwards too far, we've now made that shot motion much longer than it would have to be. So what we do is we trim the fat out and think about keeping that ball moving in front of us from start to finish, okay? Eventually, it'd be nice to get to a place where we can just all have that nice, smooth, one motion looking shot where that ball starts in front and finishes in front all the way through. In the beginning stages, there may be a little bit of stoppage going on, but eventually you're going to be able to evolve to the point where you can smooth all of that out, right? And that right there is the path of least resistance. That right there is trimming away the fat, trimming away the direction change, and allowing us to take advantage of how we create energy best. So when you're shooting, right, especially if you're somebody transitioning into moving that ball a little bit higher in your shot, so now you can actually take advantage of your body attaching underneath the basketball and really feeling that power you're able to create, make sure when you're doing it that you're not getting that ball up and over the head. It should never pass the face and go behind. Always keep that ball in front so we're able to keep that ball in motion towards our target from the moment that ball starts moving to the moment it's released out of our hands. Keep shooting.